This is a video adaptation of a project that was made for the Cube, a theater space in the Mozart Center at Virginia Tech. Due to the COVID-19, it was not possible to present this project where it was planned for. In this video, there are titles and illustrations to help you understand what is going on, because we are not in the space of the Cube, but in the actual performance, these texts and illustrations do not exist. Instead, you would be given a paper with a program before the show starts. This illustration shows the layout of the project in the Cube. On top, we can see the cyclorama, a large circular screen to project 360-degree video. It is actually composed of two screens, and that is why you may see a double video on some of the pieces in this video. The sound system in the Cube has 140 speakers on walls, floor, and ceiling. On the center, there is a stage space with a round carpet and bowls that will be used later in the show. The audience can sit on these benches or on these beanbags or even on the floor with blankets and cushions to relax and meditate during the last piece. My name is Aline de Souza, and this is the presentation of the thesis project for a master's degree in creative technologies at Virginia Tech. Thank you for watching. I would like to tell you a story. It starts under the trees. I'm a child and I'm fascinated by the trees. The wind, it moved the leaves, it moved the light, it moved the shadows and the light, the shadows and the light, the shadows and the light. It created sound. She spoke to me. She spoke to me in a language that I could understand. She spoke to me in a language that I could understand about a journey, a difficult journey in my life. I wouldn't have known. But she spoke to me in a language that I could understand. The wind told me that a poet is someone who is very excited about something, so much that they would like to communicate to others about it. I didn't hear it with these words at the time. I wouldn't know them. But the wind spoke to me in a way that I could understand, about a journey in the unknown, the journey that starts now. Here's another thing that the wind told me. I watched a film called The Secret Life of Words. A woman is a survivor of violence in the War of the Balkans in the 90s. In this film, she's a nurse in an oil ship. While she's taking care of a soldier, she tells him all the horrors she survived. She was kidnapped and repeatedly raped. She was forced to shoot her own daughter. There are no scenes of violence, but I could see everything clearly from her words. During the war, when she was suffering violence inside an abandoned hospital, she would look outside, to the trees, to the forest. The wind moved the leaves of the trees. She would think about how she just wanted to run with the wind through the forest. And she ran. She could flee from the war to Denmark. Later in the film, she's sitting in her own kitchen, her own life. The soldier from the oil ship loved and married her, even though she was afraid that her physical and emotional scars would sink them both. He said he would learn how to swim. Looking at her beautiful garden, her peaceful kitchen, she saw her daughter running in the garden, with the wind to the forest. She said, I just want to run. watched art films looking for solace for my own situation. A friend of my grandmother's went to visit us. I was helping in the kitchen. She told us about the violence from her husband. He beat her up. She was bleeding. She was forced to have sex. He put her outside of the apartment with her clothes torn apart. I offered her shelter in our house. And my bedroom is the best in the house. You can stay there, no one's gonna know. We can go to the police together, and then you can go away and start a new life. I was 12 years old. My mother said, "Shut up, stupid girl, you're 12 and you don't understand." He's your husband. Go back home and prepare a good dinner. I just wanted her to run from her husband. I would always help in the kitchen to clean and cook. I would be there, but not my brother, not my father. Why isn't my brother helping? He is a strong and independent man, they said. Now please help me. My brother is always trying to touch my chest and invade me, and I don't know what it is, but it's not okay. I didn't know until I learned what it was called, and until I got older, and until it got worse. I was the only one to defend myself, the place of the woman is in the kitchen. The place of the man is in the kitchen. Everybody's place is in the kitchen. I mean, come on, if you want to argue that only women should be in the kitchen because it's inferior or something, you're missing out. The kitchen has food. Survivor's skill. I would clean my own kitchen, far away, in full humanity. Welcome to your Kafkan nightmare. I know what you did. I know what you're trying to do. And it can't be done. Powerless in front of I know what you did. Human emotional spectrum, which we now call Kafka. Perspective and relief. Kafka's world is unpleasant. It feels in many ways like a nightmare. I know what you did. Powerless in front of authority, and it can't be done. I know what you did. I know what you're trying to end up. Squashed without mercy, judges, inconvenient, rather disgusting. Our destiny is out of our. Those in power are psychologically abusive. Those who could protect you are too weak to protect you. The tribe, the castle, America, inadequate, unwanted. I know what you unwelcome. The metamorphosis, horrific, arbitrary judgment, vast legal. I know what you're trying to judge. I know what you did. Guards and extensive bureaucratic procedures. He doesn't know what he was charged with. Your accuser is furious. It's impossible to find out. He was charged with everything. The list doesn't make sense. A knife into the accusations are contradictory. He can no longer do his job properly and is defeated in a game of politics. Wake up one morning transformed into a being. The family held a council and decided that the insect has to go. He dies quietly. The family is slightly ashamed of their behavior, but only slightly. Your Kafka night. He knew that art can reconnect us with feelings that might be otherwise unbearable to study, but which desperately need our attention. Art must be the X of the frozen sea within us. Space is in your skin, that light is everything, the wind I moved in dreams.
I'm still breathing, which is a relief every time I check. And pulling invisible strings, act itself disappears. It's easy to stumble, knowing that the breath which animates dust, the same breath I used to fog the window where I print my palm, is the warm material of the living, and only a few feet beyond of empty space, which means everything I am is that carefully close to nothing. It isn't only those who walk on water or talk to trees who are counting on miracles. Every day, something comes out of nothing. Just look at the wind, pushing wrinkles through the grass, the trees bending and rising to swat the sky. Your hair, too, tugging to follow this motion, this faith in things that sweep out of nowhere and the farther nowhere where they're going.
While traveling in the dream landscape, the wind showed me a sound and image garden. We are now going to that space.